To this tragic story now, and investigations continue into the boating accident that killed 5 people and injured 2 others over the weekend. The 2 incidents happened at the Vaal River and the Vaal Dam. Let's take you to eNCA's Heidi Giokos, who is at the Vaal River. And Heidi, what exactly happened in this particular instance that led to the death of these 5 people? I understand that you spoke to one eyewitness.
Yes, indeed, Tula. So we must just highlight the fact that it was 2 separate accidents that occurred. The first one was where a jet ski collided with a boat, and we understand that 2 of those people were airlifted and they are in critical condition. But later on Saturday afternoon, we understand that there was a group of people, about 7 people on a boat. We spoke to one of the eyewitnesses who was actually fishing at the time. He says he was watching the people on the boat. They were happy, they were singing, it seems as though he says they were celebrating, and he says a jet ski came past and it almost lifted the waves, and he says from what he saw it seemed as though a lot of water went into the boat, and one of the people on the boat actually got a fright and stood up, and that's when everybody else stood up and suddenly the boat capsized. He says that he got such a fright that he was trying to scream to the people to say that they must hold onto the boat as much as possible, because even though the water wasn't very rough, the water was pulling down because of the wind. So he was saying he was trying to advise them as much as possible, and he says he just saw people were drowning within seconds. Let's perhaps listen to what he had to say about that.
I was fishing there, and then after a time I saw that boat coming. The people were inside chilling, and yeah. After that, they passed, they stood somewhere, they parked the boat, and they were singing, talking. After 5 minutes, they turned to the boat, they were going back. So after that, there were a speed jet was coming. The speed jet just passed, and then it lifted up a waves. By the time those people were going back, so that guy was touching the water, yes, and then the waves got inside the boat. And then he screamed, he stood up. By the time he stood up, and the other one also was scared, and then they also stood up, and the boat just lifted up.
Heidi, what are authorities saying? How far is the investigation, and what have they been able to determine about the circumstances around this particular boating accident?
Well, Tulas, we've been trying the whole morning to get some further clarity in terms of what happened with both accidents. Unfortunately, we have not been able to get through to the police, but we understand that investigations are underway, specifically around the cause of both accidents. We know the first one, it was a jet ski that collided. We understand that the jet ski was speeding around a bend, and that's when it collided with the boat, which has caused 2 people to be in critical condition, but also around the incident with this boat that capsized and 5 people drowned. So we're still trying to get further clarity. But Tulas, just to mention, we spoke to a couple of people further down. They fish here on a regular basis, and they were indicating to us that they are in desperate need of more police presence, water police, because they see a lot of these accidents, and unfortunately this accident cost the lives of 5 people. But they're saying that many people speed because it's a straight line, and further down this way it almost bends. So they're saying that this could possibly be avoided if there is perhaps more presence of authorities and officials to ensure that there isn't much speed, and people are also wearing life jackets to make sure that they can avoid any kind of accident when it does occur.
All right, thank you for that update. That's eNCA's Heidi Giokos live for us there on the banks of the Vaal River, where there were 2 incidents that occurred over the weekend, with the result that 5 people have died and 2 others are injured. That is in those 2 separate incidents at the Vaal River and the Vaal Dam.